So what we're trying to do today is learn about masticators, what they are and how do they operate and what kind of combinations there are. So folks that are trying to plan a project know the right machine for their project. And different combinations, things that work, different capabilities, different costs, different combinations of tractor and the head, the cutting head that's on the tractor. So we got a demonstration looking at 9 different pieces of equipment, working in different slopes and seeing how they work over time. What their costs are, they range from $150 to $250 an hour, and how much work can they get done in that hour. So they vary from machine to machine. So helps get the project planner an idea as to where to start, looking at equipment and trying to decide what's the right equipment for their job. A little bit about limitations, as not all equipment does a good job on certain slopes. They have some limitations. Some are great on slopes and some can't work well on slopes. Some leave a different final product than the other. So if a person wants a really fine chip, may take one type of machine versus another type of machine. If they want to cut a lot of acreage in a hurry, maybe a different machine is the better choice. So the purpose is to find out what are the options available and what's the best machine for that particular project. Well, each machine has different capabilities. So we look at ones that are dozer type machines or track layer machines, and we look at rubber tired machines. And it's amazing, you would think that a rubber tired machine couldn't operate on steep slopes. Not the case. We saw a machine called a Spider today that actually can go pretty amazing places as a rubber tired machine. But they all do have some limitations. Even the track layer, some of them have rubber tracks so they can operate on roads without tearing the pavement up. Some with steel tracks can't operate on roads because they'll tear the roadways up. The type of cutting head that's on each machine makes a difference as to what the final product is and how fast they can move. Some of the machines are too big to operate like in trees. They can't get through the trees, so a little small excavator works really good. They can work their way through the trees and not have to take the trees out to do that. So if you wanted to leave trees, that might be the right choice. It may work a little slower, but it gets the job done you want done. And that's what it's all about, is trying to figure out what's the right machine to do the job you want done on that particular piece of property. It's not one size fits all. There's all kinds of different combinations. And a lot of the machines that we saw today, particularly the excavator type machines, they can change the head out, the cutting head on the end of the boom, and get a different product. So we're looking both at the tractors as what they can do, and then we're also looking at the cutting heads and what they do, and what product is left at the end of the day. The question is, what's the best machine to rent? An hourly rate may not necessarily be the factor, because you may have a machine that costs less per hour, but its production rates are lower. So you may have to work at more hours than a machine that costs more money per hour, but it gets the job done quicker. So there's not an exact science answer there. Again, but
so being more cost effective is really just finding the right tool for the job.
It's what does it cost you to have the project done at the end of the day, cost effective. So you may pay more for a machine, but get it done in a shorter amount of time. It ends up costing you less than if you bought or rented a cheaper machine that took longer to get the work done. But that's the guideline, that's the intent of today, is to try to compare production rates to hourly costs. So you may have a machine that costs $250 an hour, but in that hour it does an acre of land, versus a machine that costs $150 an hour and does a quarter of an acre of land in an hour. So at the end of the day, the more expensive machine may turn out to be cheaper.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah, it's more than enough, more than I wanted to say.